Aquarius Risings 2023 is a big year to say the least, where a huge personal transformation into more authenticity begins, and also some financial security becomes to be important. You mature a lot around your money, and there's a new living situation coming into play. If you're excited to get into what 2023 holds in store for your rising sign, which is so crazy for me to be saying, I remember being like 2019 yearly forecasts and knowing that no one was going to watch them, but I just did them for me. So it's big, I'm very thankful to be here today. So thank you guys, because I'm here because of you. But anyway, if you're excited to get into your 2023 forecast for your rising sign, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. So I'm going to start out by getting into the 4 main themes for you in 2023, followed by the tarot card for the year. Then we will get into the nitty-gritty for all the dates specifically. So the first theme that is important for you is there is a pileup of planets in Taurus in your 4th house of home, family, and living situation this spring, showing a disruptive yet positive new beginning around family or living situation. Secondly, Pluto will be entering your Aquarius 1st house. This is a preview of a deep psychological transformation into more authenticity that will be more relevant in the 2 decades to come, but there will be a preview of it this spring. Thirdly, Saturn will be entering your Pisces 2nd house, showing challenge, commitment, and responsibility in regards to your finances over the next 3 years. And finally, the North Node will be entering your Aries 3rd house of communication and productivity, showing more growth around day-to-day tasks and getting things done. And the South Node of decrease or letting go will be in your 9th house of beliefs, philosophy, religion, travel, and education, showing that you're letting something go that you were either working at in education or travel, or letting go of an outdated belief system. So the tarot card that we have for Aquarius risings here is the 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands describes basically finishing up the idea or the inspiration. You either do it or you don't. The decision has been made, and this is very much a final push card of the culmination or the climax of something that you've been working on. So I think that this shows that you're breaking out of your shell. You spent a lot of time with Saturn in your 1st house building up maturity and responsibility. Now it's go time, one final push. So we start out in January with very much a go, 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 like all systems ahead kind of vibe, specifically around creativity and your mental health. So on the 12th, we start out with Mars stationing direct in your Gemini 5th house, showing moving forward after a long period of challenge or rethinking in your 5th house of creativity, children, and romance. So over the past few weeks, if there was something you were working on or having to put an effort into redoing creatively or romantically, you're now moving forward with that and things are becoming easier. On the 18th, Mercury stations direct in your Capricorn 12th house, showing moving forward with any communication or things around spirituality and mental health that were taking a little bit longer or you were rethinking it, you're now moving forward. And on the 22nd, Uranus stations direct in your Taurus 4th house, showing moving forward with major changes or major disruptions that you're now enacting around living situation and family. Now, February is a pretty chill month, not a lot going on there. But in March, there's some major wins, major changes, and major confusion taking place, primarily around communication projects and also your finances. So we start out the month from the 1st to the 2nd with Venus conjoining Jupiter in your Aries 3rd house. Venus-Jupiter is huge positive energy, and the 3rd house is communication, writing, or day-to-day routine that is productivity-based. So because of Venus-Jupiter there, it looks like great news regarding a writing project, communication, or news that you're receiving. And with Mercury conjunct Saturn in your 1st house, you might be the one that's releasing this news or releasing a writing project that is very important and very serious to you. Now on the 7th, Saturn is entering your Pisces 2nd house. Saturn is your ruling planet, so this is particularly relevant, and it is finally, praise God, leaving your 1st house of self. So over the past 3 years, Saturn in your 1st house has been a period of maturity, growing up, personal responsibility, responsibility and overall sobriety or difficulty around your self-concept and responsibilities. And with Saturn entering your second house, this challenge or this responsibility now moves into finances. So yes, this is more challenging or more maturity required for your finances, but this is great for things lifting off your shoulders and not feeling like it is so do or die around personal responsibility. On the 12th, Jupiter will conjoin Chiron in your Aries third house. Jupiter expands and Chiron represents vulnerability or healing. So it looks like you're growing in the ability to speak your mind or communicate around something that is heartfelt and meaningful to you. From the 13th to the 14th, Mars in your 5th house will square Neptune in your 2nd house. This is showing that some tension or issue or conflict that you're working on creatively or with a romantic partner is leading to confusing finances, that your finances in your creative or romantic life are at odds here. And from the 15th to the 17th, this continues with a lot of planets in your Pisces 2nd house showing financial focus, but Mars in your 5th is like creatively or romantically, there's an issue there. Now on the 23rd, this is another really big transit. Pluto is entering your Aquarius 1st house. Pluto is the planet of transformation, of death and rebirth, of major crisis, and it's entering your 1st house of self for a brief preview at the large-scale authentic transformation that is taking place over the next 20 years. So this will become most intense once it hits the degree of your ascendant, but with it briefly entering the Aquarius 1st house, this is a preview of the large-scale, sustained transformation around your identity that will be beginning to take place more seriously next year. On the 25th, Mars will finally leave your Gemini 5th house and enter your Cancer 6th house. So after 7 long months of Mars in the 5th house showing rethinking romance or rethinking a creative project, it is now going into your 6th house of physical health and coworkers to be where there's effort or challenge that you're now taking on. On the 28th, Mercury will conjoin Jupiter in your Aries 3rd house. Looks like some really positive communication or news that you are announcing. And on the 30th to the 31st, Venus will conjoin Uranus in your Taurus 4th house, showing a lot of amazing developments or sudden positive events around home or family. April is another month of optimism and confidence for you, particularly around communication and around day-to-day productivity tasks. From the 11th to the 12th, the Sun will conjoin Jupiter in your Aries 3rd house, showing awareness, illumination, and more attention going to anything that you're working on writing-wise. And on the 20th, there is a total solar eclipse in your Aries 3rd house. Solar eclipses are very important new beginnings that catalyze an event that grows over the next 6 months. For you, this is in your 3rd house of communication and writing projects, like you're announcing something that will be growing over the next half of a year. And on the 21st, we end April with Mercury going retrograde in your Taurus 4th house. You may be having to rethink or redo home or family matters during this time. May continues to be a month of foundational new beginnings around family or living situation. So we start out on the 5th with a lunar eclipse in your Scorpio 10th house. Lunar eclipses are endings that are starting and grow over the next 6 months. For you, this is in your 10th house of career and professional life. So a chapter around career could be ending or completing. Then on the 14th to the 21st, there is a background transit that is more sustained in the background energy kind of things, with Jupiter in your 4th house squaring Pluto in your 1st house. So the growth of really positive events in your 4th house of family is leading to your personal transformation of becoming more authentic. On the 14th, Mercury stations direct in your Taurus 4th house, showing that the rethinking or communication issues around home and family are now over and you're moving forward. And on the 16th, Jupiter enters your Taurus 4th house, showing massive growth, positive events, and expansion of home and family matters. Finally, there is an amazing new moon in Taurus on the 19th in your 4th house of family, showing the moon, sun, Mercury, Uranus, North Node, Jupiter. There is a ton in your 4th house of family, which is incredibly positive and supportive for a catalytic new beginning in that area of your life. June starts off with a bang as well, but then slows down significantly, particularly around family and finances. So on the 1st, we open up with Jupiter conjoining the North Node in your Taurus 4th house. This is continued major energy around progress and growth in family, but on the 11th, Pluto will re-enter your Capricorn 12th house, showing that the personal transformation preview period is over and Pluto is now back in your 12th house of mental health. You may be significantly more introverted for this period moving forward. On the 17th, Saturn then stations retrograde in your 2nd house. So you're rethinking boundaries, because retrogrades are rethinking or going back, and Saturn is boundaries. You're rethinking boundaries, rethinking commitments, and rethinking the structure of your personal income and spending. Now, another background transit takes place from the 18th to the 24th, with Jupiter in your 4th house sextiling Saturn in your 3rd house. This shows that the growth of opportunity around home and family is leading to support financially for you during this time. Now, from the 25th to the 27th, Mars in your 7th house will be squaring Uranus in your 4th house. There might be some issues with a relationship or some fighting with a close partner because of some sudden changes around home and family. And finally, on the 30th, Neptune will station retrograde in your Pisces 2nd house. Looks like you are rethinking goals, values, and dreams in your finances. July is a turning point of reconsideration, specifically around communication and education in your life. On the 17th, the nodes enter Aries and Libra. And this is a big deal because the North node of increase, of growth, and of sustained attention is entering your Aries 3rd house, showing a lot of energy for the rest of the year going into a communication or writing-based project and being much more productive. And the South node of decrease, letting go, or releasing will be in your 9th house of foreign travel, higher education, or beliefs, like you might be letting go of or ending a chapter in those areas. From the 19th to the 21st, Mars in your 8th house will oppose Saturn in your 2nd house. Looks like a difficult financial period during that time. And on the 21st to the 22nd, the Sun in your 6th house will oppose Pluto in your 12th house. Watch out for feeling manipulated around something medical or something in the workplace out of nowhere during that time. And on the 22nd, Venus is stationing retrograde in your Leo 7th house. So Venus retrogrades are times of rethinking values, love, and harmony. For you, it's in your 7th house of committed relationships. So it could be a period of rethinking the values or your relationship status. And on the 23rd to the 25th, Pluto will be at the bending of the nodes. So when planets are at the 90-degree angle between the North and the South node, they're at the bending point, or the important thing to remember in order to better integrate the extremes of the North and the South node. So with the North node in your 3rd house, there's focus on go, 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 being productive. And with the South node in your 9th house, you're letting go of a belief system or something academic. Pluto in your 12th house shows that your mental health and your spiritual journey and the transformation of that is the key to keeping that balanced or well integrated. August is still fairly slow, specifically around finances. So from the 21st to the 23rd, Mars in your 8th house will oppose Neptune in your 2nd house. Looks like a confusing or misleading financial period. On the 23rd, Mercury then stations retrograde in your Virgo 8th house, leading to rethinking or redoing financial infrastructure in your life. And on the 28th, Uranus stations retrograde in your Taurus 4th house, showing rethinking the sudden changes or developments that have been taking place around family or home in your life. September is when the pace really picks back up, specifically in your relationship and finances. Because on the 3rd, Venus retrograde is over and Venus stations direct in your Leo 7th house of close relationships. So close relationships and one partnership that may have been in a reconsideration period is now moving forward with those values represented. And on the 15th, Mercury retrograde is over and Mercury stations direct in your Virgo 8th house. So financial miscommunications or mishaps are over and you're now integrating or moving forward with some new energy. October is where the breakthrough cycle begins again and continues, specifically around travel and education and your living situation. On the 10th, Pluto stations direct in your Capricorn 12th house. There is a final push of change and transformation around your mental health to tie up. And on the 14th, there is a solar eclipse in your Libra 9th house. Solar eclipses are substantial new beginnings to then grow over the next 6 months. For you, this is a catalyst new beginning around higher education, foreign or long distance travel, and or religious beliefs. From the 27th to the 30th, Mars in your 10th house will oppose Jupiter in your 4th house. Looks like you're having some issues in your career as there's some growth in your family or home. And with Mercury and Mars together in your 10th house, there could be some aggressive words or fighting with a boss over this. And on the 28th, there is a lunar eclipse in your Taurus 4th house. Lunar eclipses are massive endings or catalyst events towards a letting go. For you, it's around living situation and family. November has some sudden adjustments, particularly around career and family for you. There's a lot of oppositions which show extreme energy going on and contrasting fighting forces. So from the 2nd to the 3rd, the sun in your 10th house opposes Jupiter in your 4th house. This shows that there's a lot of career focus right now, and your home life is like, wait, pay attention to me. On the 3rd to the 4th, Venus in your 8th house will oppose Neptune in your 2nd house, continuing to show some financial insecurity or confusion. On the 4th, Mercury in your 10th house opposes Uranus in your 4th house. This is big around some communication, some news, some dynamic energy around career, leading to some issues at home as this is negotiated and your energy is like, wait, all this is happening in my career, my home life needs this attention too, how do I divide that up? On the 4th, Saturn will station direct in your Pisces 2nd house. So Saturn direct shows moving forward with boundaries, with decisions, and with commitments in your 2nd house of finances. So this is when financial things begin to get more clear. From the 11th to the 18th, the Sun and Mars in your 10th house continue to oppose Uranus in your 4th house. November, whole month, a lot of energy around career and a lot of shakeups at home, having to battle it out. Then from the 24th onward, Mars in your 11th house will score Saturn in your 2nd house. So there could be some issues or conflict with larger groups of people because of your personal finances and you wanting to be more conservative compared to them. December has a little bit of a rocky start, but an optimistic ending with Mercury stationing retrograde in your Capricorn 12th house. So you're rethinking your spiritual or mental health areas of your life during December, and it's a much more introverted period. On the 23rd, Mercury retrograde will then re-enter your Sagittarius 11th house. So you're rethinking communicating with larger groups of people, you're rethinking your group affiliations, you might be rethinking friendships or social groups, but thankfully we end December with Jupiter stationing direct in your Taurus 4th house of home, family, and living situation. Those things are now smoother and ready to grow again. And we start 2024 off on January 1st with Mercury retrograde over and Mercury stationing direct in your Sagittarius 11th house, moving forward with being more social, extroverted, and having an easier communication time January 1st, 2024 onward. Thoughts, predictions, or anything to say about what that already has coming for you, feel free to comment down below. Would love to hear from you and already your expectations or things you're looking forward to for this year. The Work Your Light Oracle deck card, which I'm not used in so many years, but the card we have for Aquarius risings is Dance with Life. Do something to change your energy. I think this is a really on-point card, especially when we're considering that Pluto is entering your 1st house. This shows that make sure that you're having fun and see this massive transformation taking place as quite a game to play with, not anything do or die or overly serious. This was a helpful, informative guide to 2023. I put a lot of heart and soul into prepping for these, much more than normal, because I wanted these to be very important as the marinara sauce matures. It gets baked into the pizza, whatever. If you're new here, okay. I hope that this was, as I said, helpful and informative, and if you have any comments, I would always love to see them down below. I do scan through everything, and mostly I respond to what I can in the moment, really recognize and see, but I do see almost everything, if not everything. I think I see everything, you know? Ping me multiple times if you really have an emergency. If not, I have a lot. I will see you in the next one.